here tonight. Special KOF. Shout out to the homeboys at Dream Cancel. You know.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Dream Cancel podcast, and this is episode 91 of Dream Cancel Live. My name is Desmond, the administrator of DreamCancel.com. On tonight's show, we are interviewing new KOF player and hardcore streamer Veritas. Quartus Veritas. Yeah, I almost like rearranged it. Quartus Veritas.
You guys just call me QV. QV. That's all you gotta say.
All right, Quartus Veritas, QV. I will like challenge myself to say the whole thing, but I might mess it up more. But yeah, we're interviewing Quartus Veritas. Where are you from again? Can you tell us?
I live in North Carolina. I live right at the border between North Carolina and South Carolina, in a somewhat burnt-down county called Robinson County.
Yes.
But I live out in the middle of nowhere, man. Nothing but trees out here, and a few fighting game players here and there.
Okay, cool. Sounds very good. All right, so before we get into all that, we're going to, like always, share promo plugs, talk about some upcoming tournaments, talk about some news that's been going on with KOF this past couple weeks. So first and foremost, you can buy Dream Cancel t-shirts at dreamcancel.com/shop. Join our Discord server. We do online events and talk about King of Fighters and other things, and we share videos and tech and whatnot. A very good place if you like to find games to play for KOF 14 online and other KOFs as well. Buy King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition on Steam, as well as King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match and King of Fighters 13 on Steam. Shout outs to Team Chaos. Shout outs to Kings of Colorado. Donate to us at dreamcancelsnk@gmail.com. Shout outs to our good friends at orochanaji.com, and get the King of Data 14 app. It's out on Android and on Apple iOS systems. So that's a very, very big deal that it's on both of the different operating systems for a smartphone. So go check it out if you have an Apple smartphone, and let Gunsmith know how it's working out for you. And it's a very, very, very good app for King of Fighters 14. There's frame data, there's guides, there's a link, or I should say somewhat of a feed for you can see streams for KOF 14 that are like live right now, and much, much more. So go ahead and check out the King of Data app on iOS, Apple, and Google Android phones. Of course, buy King of Fighters 14, PS4 exclusive game right now. Buy it for someone, because I know almost everyone here has a copy. If not, go ahead and get it for PS4. If you have friends that are interested in KOF, let them know of the demo version 2. It has 7 playable characters, and it's absolutely free. And if they like it, they can go ahead and buy the full game. Shout outs to the King of Fighters Reddit, and shout outs to the KOF Discord channel that hosts many different channels for KOF players. Okay, we recently had a King of Fighters 14 net play online tournament number 4. We had somewhat of a slim turnout, so hopefully next time we'll get more people. But sometimes, I mean, it's okay having a nice 8 to 9 person bracket. We have videos of that online if you like to check it out. The next party battle will be, and I hope I'm not scheduled for work that day, it should be May 14th on Sunday at 5 p.m. And right now, we should have a special, very, very, very special exhibition. A party battle mode exhibition that day. When more details come into play, and if I'm not working that day, I will let everyone know exactly what it is, but it should be pretty fun. So we're going to have a party battle mode exhibition, a first to 5 between 2 teams. And yeah, just stay tuned for more information regarding that. It should be a lot of fun. Shout outs to Game Goons. Shout outs to Kick Punch Block. And yes, check out the B&B combos guide for King of Fighters 14 that is recently updated for version 2.0, and it's featured inside the King of Data app, as well as the King of Fighters 14 frame data compiled by Star Oceans. It's also in the King of Data app, and also the King of Fighters 14 wiki for Dream Cancel is also featured in the app. Right now, with the wiki, just to let people know, we are kind of making a transition on how to add information to the wiki. Right now, I'm experimenting with using Google Docs and having people suggest comment on those Google Docs, and having editors accept the most, I would say, accurate and helpful information to those docs, and then from there we can copy and paste it to the wiki that's on dreamcancel.com. And also we might as well just like keep the docs available for people to check them out, and you can also have the docs available offline too. And also, because you can comment on the docs, we can keep it updated, because I understand this game has been going through many different transitions. It's not just like with King of Fighters 2K2UM and 13, how the game kind of stayed the same a little bit, and we just had to like change up, you know, some things. But this game is changing almost every couple months. Things are being removed and added, so hopefully with the docs, the Google Docs, we can keep the game and the information fresh. Because I know it kind of sucks a little bit for people to make videos and make guides, and it's outdated because they made it at a certain point in time, whereas now the game is almost completely different than it was in the past. So hopefully we can do that. I don't have every single wiki page on Google Docs. I will be working on that. We do currently have the DLC characters Google Docs. I'm gonna try to find a way to promote those, or I should say spread those around a little easier, because you can't just immediately search for it. And also the only way you could find the links if you're on Discord or if you're on Twitter. But I might put them somewhere on the forums. I might put them on the wiki page themselves. So just stay tuned for that, because we're going to need a lot of people to help gather up information for the wiki. So let's keep things going forward. Tournaments are coming up. Texas Showdown going down May 5th through 7th. Also in May, Combo Breaker, May 26th through 28th. King of Fighters 14 will be featured there. It should be a really, really dope tournament. It should be a monstrous turnout, and very good players are going to be there. So if you play KOF 14, you're going to have to come to Combo Breaker next month. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Let's skip to June. CEO 2017 going down in Orlando. This is happening June 26th through June 16th through 18th in Orlando, Florida. The next month in July, this is going to be Evo weekend. To kick off the Evo weekend will be the SNK pre-Evo suite at Mandalay Bay. This is happening July 13th, presented by SDRcast and Game Goons. And then that day afterwards, Evo is happening, and KOF 14 is going to be on the main stage, or one of the main stages. So if you are planning to go to Evo, play KOF 14 there. Let's have a very big showing for that. That should be a lot of fun. And if you're running a tournament, if you're running like a local tournament or a regional or something like that, hit up SNK to join the King of Fighters 14 esports support program. They will give away prizes for the winner or winners. So if you want to know more information, you can either Google that or go to the SNK Corp website or the King of Fighters 14 website, and to get more information about that. Also, want to just share some recent tournament news or happenings that's been kind of going on. It seems like Asia has been it's been very, very busy in Asia lately for King of Fighters 14. There was recently was it a Fight Club Cup tournament?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty nice. I'm gonna be honest, I'm still watching through that. I haven't gone all the way to like even the grand finals. I'm still watching the pools. And also there was the Far East Asia competition with Daku and Ogosho in grand finals. Ogosho had a pretty strong Billy, Daimon, and Mui Mui team. And Daku had a pretty strong Kyo. I'm going to let y'all watch that. And also there was the Kula versus M-Dash versus 10 that happened this weekend. Very, very good matches in those. So I'm going to let y'all check it out. I was going to maybe show a couple clips, but I'm going to let y'all watch that. And also the King of Fighters 14 arcade version exhibitions. There was Choco Blanco was there, and there were also the I think he's the voice actor, one of the voice actors for the game. Musahiro Aichi. I'm not sure if y'all know who that is, but he was also playing against Yasuyuki Oda, the director for King of Fighters 14. So check those out on YouTube, on Twitter, if you find the link. But yeah, that's really about it at the moment. Anyone in the chat can share anything that has been going on. Let me see. I'm gonna try to allow links for people to post up stuff. Man, yo, how do you in Twitch? I'm trying to remember where it was to
enable so anybody can post.
Yeah, links.
Let's see. I think it's in. 1 second, I'll do a test in my room to see.
Yeah, I forget where it is, man.
Tools. Show modes. Channel hosting. Click on more settings here.
I forget.
And keyboard. Jesus Christ, they keep changing.
I know they keep moving
changing it so much, you know.
I know, man. Like, man,
they patch Twitch like they patch KOF nowadays.
I know. I know it's crazy, dude.
Good God.
I can't find it.
I used to know where it was at.
Damn,
let me try this. Dashboard settings.
Security and privacy. I don't know.
Oh my God, they changed up the Twitch frames.
Yeah.
They changed up the Twitch frames.
We can't find it.
I can't find it.
Yeah, we can't find it.
I've seen it. I've clearly seen it.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
Jeez, where'd it go?
But yeah, I was going to enable links for everyone. Dang, I really can't find it. That's bothering me now, man. I want to find it.
Event manager, video stats, and stats, activity, editing. I figured it would be underneath settings, but
yeah, it's not there.
Payout, affiliate. Sound, edit appearance.
Well, you know what? We'll find it along the way. So
yeah. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
All right.
man, I might have to take that one to the lab.
I know.
Figure out
I know,
that
man.
one.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, so yo, let's get into this, man. So first and foremost, can you share with us like maybe where you're born, and you can also repeat to us where you're currently located?
Oh yeah, so I was born and raised North Carolina. I was born in a city called Greenville. And when I was really young, I moved to a place here called Robinson County. My family is from a place called Clinton, North Carolina, which is where the remaining people of the tribe I'm from live at.
Yeah.
So we moved away from there when I was really young. Now I live in Robinson County, North Carolina, a city called Lumberton, actually. It's kind of it's a little bit broken down. This is usually one of the counties people advise you to just keep on going by.
Yeah.
But here I am. I bought a house here not too long ago. I think it'll be a year next week, if I recall correctly. So yeah, like I've recently moved into the biggest city in the county, and now I'm just chilling here, man.
Okay. That's very nice. That's cool that you're able to acquire a nice house to be able to move in. That's always a blessing, you know?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Can you share with us how you got into fighting games, and then how you kind of got into playing King of Fighters?
Oh yeah. Okay, so all of that kind of happened gradually. I've always, at least from a spectator point of view, loved fighting games, right? When I was a little kid, I would buy any fighting game I saw. And all the way up until 2012. 2012 is the year where I had my first real introduction to fighting games. So back in 2012, I got a game called Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really wanted to get it and break it down, you know? Like, see what does it mean to play a fighter. I chose Tag 2 because I really liked their more modern character designs and things like that. And for the first 2 years, I just mashed buttons and I had no idea what I was doing. So around, I would say about 2014, I saw my first ever Tekken tournament online. I think it was Final Round, as a matter of fact. So I've seen my first ever Tekken tournament, and I'm like, man, what is this these guys are doing? And right after that, I started learning what a Punisher is, what Okazumi is, what Yomi is, all of that stuff. So 2 years into the lifespan of Tag 2, I started learning how to play that game. And a year later, I went to my first ever tournament, which was Final Round. I can't remember what number that was, but it was the 2015 Final Round. And there, I really got to observe like other shooting fighting games in like a tournament environment. Because up until that point, I only cared about Tekken, but I had been meaning to learn how to play 2D fighters. So anyways, I went to the tournament, got blown up, of course. But it gave me a chance to observe like all the other fighting games and whatnot. And of course, at the time, the biggest one was Street Fighter 4. So I dabbled in that a little bit, but I couldn't get into it too much. Time goes on, I keep playing Tekken, and all the while I'm doing it, I start researching all these games that I bought when I was young, and I would just mash buttons in, you know?
Yeah.
And the one that really stood out to me was the SNK fighting games. Like, really, really stood out to me. From a distance, I was like, man, these character designs are so sick, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they just look really, really cool. I love the designs. In fact, throughout the entirety of the time I have been playing Tekken, people ask me, so who's your favorite fighting game character? Even without playing the SNK games, I would usually say Geese. I just love his character design. So anyways, around, I would say, early 2016, late 2015, I'm like, okay, so what's the King of Fighters game that's out right now, right? And it was 13. I looked at it, and I think I saw the worst half of it first. I remember I watched some tournament, and everywhere I looked, I saw Mr. Karate. And I saw ridiculousness. So I immediately said, nope, not interested. King of Fighters, not for me. Fast forward a little bit later, I'm continuously playing Tekken all this time, competing in local tournaments for Tekken, going to Final Round, going to the Fall Classic, tournaments like that. And then you fast forward to the announcement of KOF 14. I saw the initial trailer, and I didn't have any strong feelings one way or another. But I said, you know, when the game comes out, as it develops, I'll take more and more of a look at it. SNK starts releasing these character trailers, and I start getting hype, you know? I'm like, oh my god, there's Geese, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen this guy in forever. And then I saw my girl, Sylvie. I'm like, when they announced Sylvie, I said, I'm buying this game. I'm buying this game, I'm going to learn this game, I'm going to play this game. And they keep announcing more and more and more characters.
Yeah.
And it just got me really pumped up. Street Fighter V comes out first. I say, all right, let me play Street Fighter V and really learn how to play it in order to figure out 2D fighting games. I get Street Fighter V at launch, and for me, I hate to offend anybody, but a disappointment would be an understatement. Don't like it. Hated it then, hated it now. Absolutely despise it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, is this 2D fighters? I'll give KOF 14 a shot and see how I like that, you know? So, King of Fighters 14 comes out, and I was just hooked. I'm going through the roster. I'm like, look at all these sick character designs. The music is sick. The aesthetics of the game I thought is really, or think is really sick. Just like the way it looked. I liked everything about it. You know, the flow of matches from, you know, the first round being you just playing regular footsies, doing simple combos, to you just going crazy when you get to your last character. I couldn't find anything to hate. It just had too much I liked. It was such a content-filled package the moment it came out. In fact, were it not for just a few things, even the 1.0 balancing of the game did not bug me too much. Did not bug me too much. And now, I've just been playing the game ever since, whenever I get a chance, learning the aspects of 2D fighting games, and what, you know, just seeing what I can transfer over from what I know from playing Tekken for so many years. And then it's just been history since then. I haven't been to a major yet for King of Fighters 14. I was going to go to Evolution this year and let that be my first major, but due to some issues with the current state of Tekken, I ended up canceling my trip to EVA. So
I see.
Here I am now.
Okay. I kind of wanted to pick apart a couple things you mentioned. So you said you like Geese and Sylvie. What about those characters you like aesthetically?
Geese is just hardcore, man. Like, I remember the first time I heard that guy's voice, you know, the whole, see you and go nightmares. I'm like, this guy is sick. The parries, the predictables? Who else has a predictable? Whatever he's trying to say to me. Like, I just thought the character was so dope. Just everything he did. Sylvie, the moment I heard her name, Sylvie Paula, I knew who she was based on.
Yeah.
She was based on my girl, Kiaru Pamu, whatever.
Yes.
You say her name? Yeah,
Yes.
like, I'm into that sort of stuff. I was like, is that my baby? My baby in KOF. Let me play her, you know?
Yeah, on some pom-pom stuff, right?
Yeah, man. I'm like, that's my girl. Let me play my girl. And that was pretty much it. Like, you know, I didn't think about, I never cared about tiers or anything like that. I'm like, Geese is sick. I'm going to play Geese. Sylvie's sick. I'm going to play Sylvie. And now, like, as far as a third character, I'm sort of in a character crisis right now because with King of Fighters, except for like 5 characters, every character is so dope.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick, you know? There's just too many cool designs in this game.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Yeah, I always wondered, man, because I've seen you play Sylvie, and you also have Sylvie as your online icon.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's my girl, man.
Right. Cool, man. So I wanted to know about you transitioning from Tekken to KOF. What are some of the things you notice going from 3D to 2D when it comes to gameplay?
At first, it was really obscure. Like, I had, outside of things, you know, basic stuff like punishment and execution, it was kind of hard for me to understand the logic of when I was supposed to do certain things, you know? Like, I couldn't even tell you, like, hey, when's the right time to jump? When's the right time to hop? When's the right time to roll? I'm still even focusing on mastering those fundamentals because when you convert it from how you would think about certain situations in something like Tekken, it's there in philosophy, but just not quite the same. Like, take Tekken, for example. You know, you don't have a traditional jump. In Tekken, your jump is your sidestep. And they have very, very, very similar uses, you know? In fact, outside of the aesthetics of it and the strength of it, it's almost exactly the same, in my opinion. But the other things that I really notice is, at least from a 2D to 3D conversion, how can I put this? In 2D, there's very, very little you can react to, you know? In Tekken, you kind of break moves down into what moves can be seen and what moves cannot be seen. In King of Fighters, for me so far, I'm having to adapt to much, much more to knowing the situation. And knowing everything that's possible in a certain situation. In Tekken, that's kind of hard to do because every character has so many moves. There's too many things that can happen at a single time for you to say, okay, this is this character's options at this point, you know? But in KOF, though, it's a little bit more clearly defined, but less easy to react to. Like, you have to be, like, legit with that sort of thing. You know, you have to immediately recognize the situation and decide what you're going to do in response. If that makes any sense. That's kind of the best I can describe it at the moment.
That was a clear explanation. I was following you. That's, that's a very, very clear way to kind of put it, 3D to 2D.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I will say this much, sort of in Tekken's criticism, I love how easy it is to move in 2D fighters. Love it, love it, love it. Love how, if I want to position myself in a certain position, it's so easy to do. I can't do that in Tekken.
Right, okay. All right. Let's get into a little bit about streaming and playing online. So, when you first started playing KO 14, what was your, I would say, impressions of the net play?
Well, for me, when I first started playing King of Fighters online, it was really hit or miss. I would get some connections that were balling, right? I mean, they felt flawless. And then I would face people who I'm assuming live in Atlantis. The connections were so freaking bad, you know? It was just unplayable. And I would go through and, like, check on my settings, like, did I not set this to be, you know, perfect connections only? And this was at launch, mind you. But it didn't bug me too much because I forgot to mention this. When I started playing Tekken, the first year I played it, really played it, online at least, was on the Wii U.
Wow.
Oh my god. I don't know if you know this, but Wii U does not have a LAN adapter attached to it. Only Wi-Fi. So I played through some of the laggiest, most unplayable garbage for about almost a year. And it was just kind of ingrained into my head, So coming from that to going back to playing Tekken on the PS3 to now playing King of Fighters on PlayStation 4, it's like, what's that one scene from the Batman movie? You merely adopted the lag. I was born in it, molded by it, whatever. So for me, it wasn't that bad. And now I think it's great. I would say it's even better than Tekken. At least if you got a good connection, your opponent got a good connection, I love it. Love it.
Better than Tekken Tag 2?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Definitely. Tag 2 online it looks smooth. It looks really smooth. But once you start playing it at a certain level, things that should work stop working efficiently. And it just speaks for itself, the netcode of that game. At least in King of Fighters, unless I do a big input error, if I want something to come out and I know I input it right, it comes out if the connection is good. That's not always the case for things that require really fast responses in Tekken, like breaking throws properly, doing just frame moves, things like that,
Okay.
The match will flow smoothly, but little details get lost. Throw breaking, just frames, low parrying, chicken guarding, all that stuff.
Okay, because I've heard nothing but praises about the Tekken Tag 2 net play, but I didn't know that
it's good, but it's not good enough.
Yeah, okay.
Good, but not good enough.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like. I know, when it comes to net play, that no game is perfect, but a lot of times the problems just kind of overshadow.
This has been my best experience so far.
Yeah,
as if they patched this so far. Don't even get me started on Street Fighter V. That was and I would argue still is trash.
Okay.
I could not get a good online experience with that game either.
Right. Okay. So let's get into specifically streaming. So what made you interested in streaming King of Fighters 14 content?
Well, originally I was only streaming like Tekken and some JRPGs here and there, but I remember KOF 14 came out, and in my head I'm like, okay, once I learn this game, really figure things out, I'm going to start streaming it really often, Little did I know at the time, simply learning King of Fighters isn't like a 1 month thing, But this is sort of what prompted the whole, open lobby thing. I remember after the first month of the game, lots and lots of people were playing it. And then after that, I kind of noticed I would log on to Twitch and go to where I have my saved games. And I'm like, yo, where's KOF 14 at, And I would just go and check. I'm like, hey, where's it at? Why isn't anyone streaming the game right now? I'm a strong believer that in this day and age, presence on Twitch is important. I think it's really important having some sort of Twitch presence. So when I would, log online at different types of the day and see that nobody's streaming, especially when Asia was asleep, I'm like, this isn't good. There's got to be KOF up at all times, At least one stream. King of Fighters needs to be seen when someone logs in, and when they go to their saved games, that picture of KOF is there. So I said, you know what? This is all I can do. I don't know how to play this game yet. Open lobby, 24/7. I'm just going to let it run because I do not want this game to die, I'm loving it too much. And that was pretty much it. I didn't see people, streaming it. For whatever reason, I would log in sometimes and see tons of numbers, up in the hundreds. And then I click on it and it's like, Angry Punko is streaming KOF and all their viewers are on his channel. And then he goes off and it's gone. Juicebox is streaming KOF. All these people are watching. Do spots goes offline? There's no KOF stream. I'm like, can't have it, can't have it. Not about to lose this game. Open lobby at all times. That's it. It's been history ever since then. If I'm not doing anything, not streaming something myself, just let the KOF open lobby run.
I really appreciate that. I really, really do. A 24-hour stream of KOF 14 open lobby. It's something that we've been kind of waiting for with the open lobbies for a while, because KOF 13 didn't have those. It was just like 1v1 lobbies. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We've been waiting for this for a while, and I really appreciate you taking advantage of that. Have you ever done 24-hour streams with other games before?
No, this has been my first one.
Okay.
With Tekken, it hasn't been necessary. There's usually, even though not many people watch Tekken Tag Tournament 2 at all. In fact, it's so small, the people who watch Tag 2. Everybody you see in any chat room you go to is just familiar names. At least someone would always be streaming the game.
Yes.
But with King of Fighters, I would notice numbers would shoot up really high, and then it would just be gone. So I'm like, yep, I've got to do something. And this is, at the moment, this is the only thing I can do. Though that's starting to change with recent times, Not just, there's some things that I'm working towards doing, at least as far as supporting the SNK community. I've noticed recently a lot more people are starting to stream.
Right.
Lots of homies I've never seen before.
Right. That's very cool. I wanted to know, what days do you usually stream? Like, what's your stream schedule?
Usually, it's as soon as I get home from work, which is about 5:30 East Coast time, and then I'll stream for several hours, usually Tekken or an RPG or something. And on weekends, if I don't have anything going on, I'll start streaming the moment I get up. So it's kind of it's a little bit all over the place at the moment, especially because I work so much because of my position. But I'm trying to solidify that more, being more consistent with streaming the moment I get home from work, and streaming a lot during Saturdays and Sundays, especially with I really want to have a more set schedule by the time Tekken 7 drops.
Okay. When you stream, are you always home, or do you stream and then go to work and then come back home and it's still going?
Are you talking about the open lobby?
Yes.
Yeah, I just leave it on when I go to work. So I'm not sure if anyone's seen it, but there's some times when it'll just be game has crashed or whatever, or RE Central has stopped working. That's because, and the reason it just sits there is I'm just at work, Usually what I do is, if I see it happen, I take my lunch break early, and I drive back home, and I get it back up and going, and then I just drive back home.
Oh, man, that's really dope, man.
It's not so bad in recent times. I'm noticing the rooms crash way less. So at this point, I'm just kind of, how can I say? I'm just praying to God that RE Central, the program I'm using to record, doesn't freeze up. I got two things working against me here, It's either the room crashes or RE Central goes down on me. I'm actually ordering the new capture card soon that I've been told will help resolve the issue. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. You know what? I do have some questions about your equipment, but before I get into that, I want to ask a little bit more about kind of streaming schedules and how much we should stream. So, do you recommend lots of people doing 24-hour streams, or do you think it works for just only a select few to kind of commit to that?
I think it works best if your game is not really big, So far, just based on my experience from doing this, this is my first time doing this sort of thing. If you have a game that is it really getting the stream support that you think it should be, then absolutely. I think a 24-hour stream is a wonderful thing to have, especially if not a lot of people are streaming the game. It kind of creates naturally just a chill out point for people to come,
Yeah.
Of all levels. Heck, even in this room, like, I've met a bunch of people who are like, hey, man, I'm super brand new. And then I've seen, like, players who have weight behind their name show up in here.
Yeah.
So this kind of creates a chill out point. People have utilized the stream in pretty cool ways I haven't even thought about. Like, sometimes I'll see people playing, and the banner in the background of the stage is like their Twitch channel name. I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope. Let me go check out Home Dude here, Then we'll have people just show up in the chat like, hey, man, I'm going to QV's room. We watch my match. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. This guy in the chat here, Crashman, he's usually the one giving out advice in the chat. So big shout out to him.
Yeah,
it has its uses.
Yeah.
It has its uses. So if your game is not too big as far as a stream sort of thing goes, absolutely 24/7 it. If you can make that happen somehow. But if it's like a really big game, to the point where everybody else is going to be able to keep it afloat as far as streaming goes, then you can do it. But I don't think it'll be hurt if you don't do it.
Right. Okay. I want to know how many viewers do you usually get on average when you're doing these 24-hour streams? Do you
It fluctuates. I've noticed that usually when I stream, this is sort of a philosophy,
Yes.
Which has now become a habit. I never look at how many viewers I have. Never, ever, ever.
Okay.
Especially, when it's myself streaming. But usually, like, when I first check on it, say once I get to work, get back from lunch, in the early parts of the day, it'll be like only about 3 or 4 people. But around evening or nighttime, it'll peak at somewhere between 10 to 15 people. And it varies by day, but definitely a lot more people watch at night. But early morning hours, say around 5, 6 a.m., all the way up until about evening, it's usually really, really low numbers, I've had some surprises. I remember one morning, there was like 20-some people watching. But that's sort of the pattern I've noticed. Very, very few in the morning. More people start showing up in the evening,
Yeah. Okay. When I first started watching your streams, like, I kind of noticed, like, all right, it's a 24-hour stream, but like it was kind of quiet. Like, you have music in the background. What do you think about other streamers that like just are like very, very kind of personal and engaging with their audience? Whereas, like, I feel like with your stream, like you just kind of like let it run, and it's kind of a different atmosphere. Like how do you feel about different like streaming styles?
Let's see. Well, I would say that the streaming yourself personally is definitely more favorable as far as getting people to come in, to stay and chill out and all that stuff. With a personal stream, it's sort of just for the just a little bit of enjoyment of watching a KOF match, like in the background or something,
Yeah.
Unless somebody specifically is trying to discuss the matches that are going on. And I can say that from whenever I start streaming Tekken, I have my mic on, I'm talking with people, I'm explaining things. There's a lot more people watching, there's a lot more interaction. So it does vary greatly in that regard. But they both have their, even, if you just kind of have like a background noise type of stream going like I do with the music and just the matches going, it's still creating interactions,
Yeah.
Still creating interactions. And I've noticed that when I'm not streaming myself, during the later parts of the day, the chat is interacting a lot more with itself.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
Like, I see a lot more people talking amongst themselves, discussing things, related to King of Fighters, things like that. So there is something, a little charm to just a simple open lobby stream,
Right. Okay. Have you ever thought about running like a online tournament on your stream?
Well, I do help out. For the guys who don't know, Escaping Workforce. He's a guy who's built a decent-sized community. He does online tournaments all the time for everything. Like he just cycles through the fighting games. Whenever he does King of Fighters or Tekken, half of those matches are actually ran on my stream, just so that we can get through the matches quicker. As far as myself running my own online King of Fighters tournaments, I guess I'll go ahead and say it now. It's a project that I've been working on the side, but I'm trying to build up enough resources before I launch it. So yes, it is something that I eventually tend to do. I haven't told anyone about it yet, but I'm trying to make it dope, at least as far as an online experience can go, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm working out some details with some of my other buddies locally, but essentially, we're going to be doing. This isn't Escaping Workforce. This is kind of my own thing.
Yeah.
My friends and I are going to be doing a test run with a series of Tekken 7 tournaments online, and depending on how we're able to make that work, will kind of dictate how we go about running King of Fighters tournaments online in the future.
Okay. It sounds like a plan. I look forward to seeing that. All right, for everyone in the stream, if you have any questions for Quartus Veritas, feel free to post them in the chat, for he can read them, and it'll go into my my next kind of set of questions. Is about equipment. So, can you share with us your streaming equipment?
Yeah, like so for my capture card, I'm using the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable.
Hey, I got that one, man.
I've got that as my capture card, and it's done me really good considering how long I have had it. But at this point, I definitely feel the need to upgrade to something that can maintain 60 frames per second, and it's less prone to crashing, and it's a little bit less cable work. So I'm ordering like an internal capture card for my PC soon. But all this time, unless it's like a PC game, AverMedia Live Gamer Portable is what I've been using.
Okay, quick question with that. Do you usually keep it hooked up and on to your PS4, or do you? Okay.
Yes. Actually, no, not to my, not directly to my. Oh goodness! I hope you didn't hear that.
Oh no.
For my follow alert, thank you very much, Terrorist. For my follow alert, it's a jump scare, so it catches me by surprise sometimes. Anyways, so the AverMedia actually is getting its feed from. I use a BenQ monitor. I have two right next to each other, and the BenQs have like an HDMI out extension on the back of it. So it's PS4 going to a BenQ monitor, which then goes to AverMedia capture card. And for my computer, I have an i5 processor. I have the original GeForce GTX Titan graphics card. And as far as everything that's related to King of Fighters goes, I just use OBS for broadcasting. I like the functionality of it, all the things that you can do.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's pretty much it. All the magic's pretty much happening between the AverMedia and the Titan, you know?
Cool. What kind of computer specs do you have?
Hold on one second. I will tell you. I forget sometimes because I built this computer a long time ago, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Just looking at it off the top of my head. See, I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM installed in here. The GeForce GTX Titan, I got it on sale way back when it was kind of new, but it's still, I think I paid like $500-600 for it. Really good graphics card though. It's done me great, even though it's not typically regarded as one for gaming. There's an i5 processor in there. I can't remember exactly what model it is, I'm using the Cool Master Tower, which is phenomenal as far as airflow and stuff and keeping your rig cooled down, you know? Let's see. I'm just running 1 terabytes hard disk drive in here, and I think that's about it as far as the rig itself goes. I got a Razer keyboard, Blue Yeti mic, and that's about all there is to it, man.
Okay. I was curious because a lot of people, they want to stream, and you know, the PS4 enables streaming in it already.
Yes.
But some people, they want to actually add their own like overlays and stuff like that, and they want to add all the, you know, the different cam settings and stuff. But you know, that takes a fairly powerful computer, because people, because people try to stream on what they have, and it's not that good.
Yeah. Like, you definitely at least want an i5 processor and a decent graphics card. I think I would say, personally, if you want to have a good card as far as mediating between price and stream functionality, at least have like NVIDIA 1060. I would say that's like minimum as far as stream quality goes. So i5 processor, GTX 1060.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, hopefully this will give people a good, I would say, guidelines of, you know, what they can probably try to build if they want to get into streaming or upgrade their own PCs for that.
Let's see. I see one question. Ida Digi asks, how do you go about making sure matches do not get skipped? Unfortunately, Ida, at the moment, I have nothing to fail-proof that. I've seen where it happens sometimes while I'm at work. I spend most of my day in the office, so I can see the stream. But sometimes the matches get skipped because the characters are, you know, giving a speech after they win or whatever.
Speech.
And yeah, they'll give, you know, long sentences, man. And there's, at the moment, there's literally nothing I can do about it. If I'm at my house and I happen to catch it, you know, I'll try and just reach over and hit the X button on my fight stick. But unfortunately, at the moment, there's nothing I can do for it yet. It would really be up to SNK to implement a patch to fix that sort of thing, which I don't really think is a big issue, you know?
Right. Okay. But so far, I mean, it looks like things are working good with the net play. You know, I feel yeah. Kind of. I would like to go a little bit back to the King of Fighters 14 net play. Something just popped in my head. There was a time where we got a patch and it kind of screwed up the matchmaking a little bit, and you didn't stream that often.
I think that was, what was that? Was that 1.1 or 1.3? Somewhere around that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't do nothing much then. I would try and, like, you know, create rooms. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get ranked matches. It was just bugged to heck and back. So I just remember I would check daily to see if there was, I didn't know if it was like a, you know, maybe a server-side thing or what, but until they released the fix for it, I couldn't stream a any KOF, you know?
Yeah.
The alternative would just be me sitting there in training mode. But given how I don't think I can really give much of an entertaining experience with what I'm doing in training mode right now. Whenever I go, I'm sort of just practicing the fundamentals, you know? Let's see here, my best characters went. Either on my fight stick, I actually do not have a turbo button.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
Yeah, on the Itoki Omni arcade stick and the let's see, what's this thing called again? What's its actual name? On the Fight Stick Alpha, there is no turbo button. I had a Mad Cat stick at one point that could have done it, but it gave out on me.
Oh, that's too bad, man.
Yeah, all my Mad Cats have died on me at some point or another, so I'm sort of veering away from them. But this Itoki stick has just been a blessing. Blessing.
I wanted to know about your internet setup. Because, like, you're doing these 24-hour streams and stuff like that. I know that probably takes up a good amount of data. Can you share with us what your like kind of connection speed is and like maybe
Oh
what
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
service? You don't got to go into like cost or anything like that. That's like,
I know I can tell you. That's all good. Let's see. So I'm with Time Warner Cable. Where I live at is the best thing. It's just the best I can get in my city at the moment. I hear rumors of fiber attempting to come here, but right now the best we have is Time Warner's broadband service. And the speeds are 300 download and 20 upload. And there are absolutely no data limits at all.
really?
None. That was actually, when I decided to move to this city, that was actually one of the deciding factors when I heard that. No data limits, because I use massive amounts. And the router, unfortunately, they gave me is not the best one in the some Eris router. I don't know the exact model of it, but it's only got 4 switch ports at the back for LAN connections. So I have a LAN hookup to my PC, to my PS3, my PS4, and another one to a hooked up to the Mac computer on the other side of the room that I just recently obtained. But yeah, the speeds are really, really incredible, man. We had some issues a while back. Hurricane Matthew came and jacked up all of the cables all over the city. But I called Time Warner Cable a few months later and fussed them out and said, hey, get this crap fixed. I'm trying to do stuff here. And it's been great since then.
Okay, all right. You snapped them into place, I guess.
I had to. I'm like, listen here, man. I'm trying to run Tekken tournaments online, and I'm trying to do some Tekken ranked and stream King of Fighters. I'm paying you guys for internet. I'm not getting it. Get out here.
Right.
And lo and behold, 2 days later, everything was perfect. I have not had issues since.
Very, very nice. Okay, because like I usually when I stream, I try to make sure that my bit rate isn't too high, because I'm running with like I think like 60 down, I think 10 up, and it's not, and I have to actually upgrade my modem and my router for that because I upgraded. So to tell everyone that the speeds that you have, man, making us look like we using like AOL 56K.
Yeah, man. I needed it because right now in my house I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 PCs hooked up to the internet right now in my house, so I needed really, really high speeds. Right. I got a bunch in here, man. That's not even counting the game consoles, you know. So I was just thinking, if all these PCs are going to be hooked up at once, I got to get some good speeds, you know.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
And it worked out, especially as far as the whole streaming thing goes.
Right. I wanted to know, so for someone that wants to just like start streaming, what tips do you have for them, like equipment wise? With the as far as you share with us what kind of equipment, if you want to actually share what kind of equipment you have, maybe again with like the internet, like what to really ask for, and also like maybe like time schedules and stuff like that. What do you recommend for a new streamer?
Got you. Well, the first and foremost, you've got to pick your internet service provider wisely. Check everybody in your area. Everybody. You want to make sure you have unlimited data if it's available. That's a big one. If you can't get unlimited data, make sure you get somebody who offers you at least a lot per month. You know, lots and lots of data to work with. After that, if possible, you want to have some type of wired internet service.
Yes.
You know, you really don't want wireless. When I first started, I was actually streaming from a freaking Mi-Fi Verizon pack. This was like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was the worst thing ever. It kept dropping. The stream matches were really, really laggy. You know, it's like, I did this move yesterday. It just now came out sort of thing. You want wired internet. There's just no question about that. And as far as streaming goes, I would recommend at least having 10 upload speed, because your stream, I stream at 2,000 up. I stream at 2,000 up, but you're going to want a little bit of extra just in case, especially if you want to stream an online game.
Yes.
If you're streaming an offline game, it's usually not as big of a problem at all. But if you're playing online, especially fighting games where you need as little interference as possible, you're going to want that extra room. So at least 10 upload. I would say if you don't have many devices connected to your router, at least 50 download. But if you do have a lot, you may want to try and shoot for at least 100 download speed. Of course, like I said, as far as your rig goes, you want at least a medium build rig. So that's like a GTX 1060. You want an i5 processor. You want at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, I would say.
Yes.
Let's see. Other than that, I can highly recommend OBS as streaming software. It's free, from one, so you got nothing to lose. The servers that it connects to for streaming, at least here on the East Coast, are very reliable for the most part. They have hiccups sometime, but overall, they're really good. Let's see, other things. Oh, and of course, if you're streaming console games, I know that PS4 can stream from itself. I would still say get you a capture card, even if it's not an expensive one, you know? You just have way more flexibility when you're able to do a capture card from your setup into your own personal layout. You can get way more creative than the PS4 can offer you, because it's, at the moment, unfortunately, it's just you can have your camera, your mic, your chat, and you can have the stream itself, which is good, you know, it's way better than nothing, but you are limited on what you can do. And I don't think it allows you to pick a server to stream to, if I recall correctly. I don't think PS4, I think PS4 says, okay, boom, here you go, you're streaming. But I don't think you can do stuff like, no, I want to stream to this server, etc., you know?
Okay. All right. Well said, man. Yeah, very good tips, because I know there's a lot of people that want to stream KOF content, either just from their home playing online, or even just offline matches.
Right. If I could say anything else, though, also, as far as growing your stream goes, let's see. Whenever you're streaming yourself, this is just like a tip as a streamer. To get people, I've been trying to get, a lot of people who aren't into KOF to at least look at the game, you know? When you're streaming yourself, whatever you do, don't stop talking.
Yeah.
Just talk about something. Don't be silent. I've noticed that when you go into a stream and the streamer's kind of quiet, not really interacting with the, the chat or things like that, even if there's nobody watching, if you have 0 viewers, keep talking. Just talk about what's on your mind. Pretend you're on a radio show. Pretend you're on a radio talk show and you're talking to no one in particular. You're just talking to a mic. You don't see an audience. You don't see people talking to you. Just pretend you're a radio show host. Just keep on talking. This will, when someone comes in, say if you're a KOF streamer, this is their first time seeing KOF. If you are just a homie staring at a camera awkwardly, not saying anything, kind of got a blank look on your face, like you're kind of not really wanting to talk to people, if that's someone seeing KOF for the first time, they're going to be like, this is kind of awkward, and they're just going to walk away. Just talk, interact. That's what you can do from a person perspective. If you're a nervous person, which I promise you, you won't be more nervous than I am, you still got to do it. You've got to talk. You've got to get over it. Else, you're going to push people away. And some of the people could have been someone who might have potentially have been interested in your genre of gaming.
Okay. What about if a person is quiet or shy, what about having like someone on Skype or Discord to help them?
That's a great idea.
Okay.
That is a really, really good thing. It's something that I myself have not been doing recently, but anything to help you talk, you know?
Okay.
Anything at all to help you at least interact some. And if you're a super duper quiet person and you can't talk constantly, just don't be entirely quiet. You know, you've got to interact some. I think the way we present ourselves to people is really, really important for growing any game community. I really, really think presentation can bring a lot of people into the type of games that you like. A la Maximilian.
Yeah.
I think he entirely became what he is via his presentation skills. Even though I'm personally not a fan of his, not in a bad way, I don't think Marvel would have been anywhere near as big as it is today were it not for how this guy who is only okay at fighting games presented himself to that huge audience. I don't think it would have happened. I'm just a really strong believer in presentation and interaction.
Yeah.
See, what would you say to people who stream Kingdom Fighters only to learn? Crashman, do you mean that in the sense of they are streaming Kingdom Fighters to only learn themselves or to teach others how to play? It's probably going to take a second for that to to reach.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that too.
This is my first time actually being in like a interview type podcast or anything that I haven't been running, so
right.
I'm just trying to make sure I don't step over any boundaries.
Right. Well, while he's responding to that, he did. People stream KOF only
to learn about the game. Let me break that sentence down in my head. People stream KOF only to learn about the game. I'm assuming he means in the sense of, hey, I'm new to King of Fighters. I'm going to stream. Can you guys tell me what I'm doing wrong, sort of thing. I feel like those type of people are streaming for a different purpose.
Yes.
I feel like they're streaming for themselves to learn, but not so much to get people to watch the game. I feel like that's kind of a different thing entirely, you know? Which, again, nothing wrong with doing that for that purpose, you know? That would just be a difference in that particular person's goal.
Right. Okay. I was going to mention real quick when you was talking about people that are kind of shy and quiet, and Discord. I've seen people have other people voice chatting on Discord, and you never even hear the actual streamer's voice. They kind of have someone just like as a representative, kind of hold it down for them. So I think people should play around with that more. I have. Actually, before when I stream, like whenever I stream KOF for my channel, I have Discord voice chat up and ready to go for anybody to kind of just jump in, and if they want to say hello or anything, or if they want to talk trash or talk about the game or anything like that, they can do so. It makes the stream more lively to hear different voices. I've had sessions where we've had all offline sessions, and then we're also talking with people on Discord and streaming at the same time. So I think that's something that people should,
which is good.
Yeah,
you have people talking. It's a wonderful thing, Like as long as someone is talking, something's going on. I think it'll get the job done just perfectly.
Right. Have you ever considered? Have you ever streamed over 24 hours, man?
Over 20 for KOF, yes.
Oh, okay. What's the longest amount?
I think I hit like 200 and some hours uptime before I had a crash at one point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like usually when I go down, sometimes the stream will go down, but I'm just doing like maintenance on the router or changing some OBS settings, things like that. But like I hit over 24 hours all the time. That's like a daily thing.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Mhm.
Do you have like a Patreon or like some sort
Nah,
of
for this sort of stuff, I refuse to accept donations.
Really?
I won't take any donations.
Really? Okay.
The only thing I'm going to offer people in the future is I did get the Twitch affiliate thing, and I know that with that I'll get a sub button with an emote that people can get. But just sort of how can I say? King of Fighters originally wasn't something I knew I was going to be streaming when I started. I thought I was just going to be a Tekken and JRPG guy. So going into that, though, as I was developing myself as a player and as a streamer, with donations and stuff, first and foremost, nothing wrong with donations of any type and people showing support for a stream. Nothing wrong at all. Okay? I have nothing against it. But for me, however, say if the channel kicks off someday, which I don't know if it will or if it won't, but if it does, I do not want donations. One, because I cannot give the viewers anything back for it. Two, because I want people to know at all times I'm being genuine and not just not acting a certain way because they are giving me money. Big fear of mine. I don't want people at any time to think I'm not genuine. Even if, people do it all the time. They stream, they get donations, and they're still totally 100% genuine. But this is the best way I know to express it. Plus, also, I don't like feeling indebted to people. Hate it. So at least I have said that I will put up a sub emote if people really want to support the channel. Because one, I know they're going to be limited in how much they'll be donating each month. They're not partying,
Yes.
It's just a little bit. And I can give them something in return. I can give them an emote in which I will advise them. I would encourage them more to subscribe more for the emote, more so for myself. I don't like the feeling of feeling indebted to someone. Don't like it at all. Do not like it.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough. All right. Well, if anyone has any more questions about streaming for Quartus Veritas, please put it in the chat. I kind of would like to move on a little bit and talk about local community. So can you tell us about your local gaming community, if you have one?
Well, unfortunately, at the moment, in recent times, it has suffered a major hit. And it was sort of due to the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 issue. So about 5 years ago, I would say, around the time when Tag 2 came out, quite a few people started playing fighting games locally. Originally, there were a bunch of guys in this part of NC who played Tekken, and they were trying to get better at it. Tag 2 gets announced. So we all kind of started meeting up. I was the newest one to Tekken at the time. And we started playing Tag 2 together. And, we had a great time. We loved it. And then we started asking, okay, so do you guys play any other fighting games or want to play any other fighting games? Most of them jumped onto other ones because they had a little bit of experience growing themselves as players in the past. Some of them had been to tournaments before. But I myself, I just kept on with Tekken because I was new,
Yeah.
Fresh from the womb sort of thing. I said, other fighting games for me, they'll just come later in the future as far as learning them like that. So that sort of evolved into a bunch of guys locally. I would say fluctuated between 10 to 20 people in its early years, We had quite a few we could get to come to meetups and whatnot. But then, as Tag 2 started to age, and we discovered many things that we personally had issues with the game, started to die out. And long story short, I actually ended up, at least at this point, being the only Tekken player remaining. Everyone else just started to split into their own fighting games. Many now who only play Street Fighter, only play NRS games, only play anime games, things like that, you know? We were sort of all being held together by Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And when we kind of stopped liking the game, I don't even like Tag 2. I do not like Tag 2. But that sort of, it really, really hurt us, you know? So now we're at a point where we got a couple of guys who play King of Fighters who also started with me. We got some Street Fighter players, and let's see, we got like 1-2 anime NRS players, and then you got me playing Tekken. But we don't really, as far as a gaming community goes, we were really hurt by the whole Tag 2 thing. We still talk, hang out, and things like that. You know, we're still really, really good friends. But our gaming interaction was really hurt. I mean, we were all traveling to majors and stuff together and everything, man. But when Tag 2 weakened, that weakened us. But thankfully, with Tekken 7 coming out, a lot more people are ready to get back into the game. A lot of them are ready to, you know, start playing fighting games again. And many of them have approached me and said, hey, man, I know I'm out of the loop, but you got to show me this KOF, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess you can say, from my perspective, I plan on using Tekken to get people to look at King of Fighters and tell them why it's so dope.
Cool, that's very cool, man.
So there's a resurgence on the horizon. Let's put it like that.
Right.
We started off strong. We took a big hit, and now there's a resurgence. The thing that links us together is going to be coming back strong soon. And for me, I think that would be a great opportunity to show people King of Fighters. I've already got like 3 who are like, hey man, won't you show me that Tekken 7? You got to teach me what you know about this KOF, you know?
Right. Okay. Here's a question from the stream. This is regarding streaming. How much interaction do you recommend giving the audience?
A lot. If you want to grow as a streamer and grow a community, you have to constantly interact. You really, really, really do. You can almost think of it as if you have a guest who comes over to your house, you know? You don't want to just say, hey man, what's up? And just let them sit in there all bored and stuff. You've got to treat the people in your chat like they're house guests, you know? Interact with them. Don't stop talking. You've got to be really, really interactive. Part of the game you love flows through you. Whether you like it or not, people are going to base a game's community on how they see others. No matter how good a game is, they're going to base it on how they see others, you know?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. All right. So basically, I think that's kind of it, man. Why don't we close it up with you sharing with us your name? Because man, I've fumbled your name. Can you tell us?
Quartus Veritas.
Yeah, can you give us the origin of?
Right. So Quartus Veritas, my gamer handle, is actually a project that myself and some of my friends started working on some time ago. It hit some slowdowns, and now it's starting to pick back up. But it's essentially the name of a video game project. And its code name is Quartus Veritas. I won't explain all the details of it, and I don't want to talk much about the game. But after we came up with the name, I kind of adopted it. Like, hey, let me go ahead and get this name out there before anyone else thinks about taking it. And then it just kind of became, you know, hey, no one else is using this name. I guess I'll just roll with it. So the game's code name kind of became my name. And then locally and online, everyone just started calling me QV, and it stuck after that. For the game itself, I was in charge of doing the music and the programming. But as far as the actual project, I can't really comment much on it now. We're trying to keep everything under wraps for the time being.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. So, something just kind of popped in my head. So, for us to kind of grow this game, you know, KOF 14 streaming is just like it's very very important.
Very,
Very-
extremely important, I would argue.
How important do you feel that it'll like grow local communities because of the streaming? You think?
I think there is a direct correlation. For example, you have a person, someone out there who's not really, they're somewhat interested in the game, right? They're curious about it. They go on Twitch and they want to see what the community and the game itself is like. If that person sees it and they end up liking it and they buy that game, that person could be the very, very first spark in terms of building a community, you know? Like, you have to get people. Twitch is just too convenient of a method to show the world your game. And without them seeing it, you're losing potential people who could have been the start of local community growth.
Yeah.
And once that person starts doing it, they in turn can then start, you know, growing their own local community. Hey man, look at this game I saw on Twitch. It's so dope. We got to start playing it. Does your mom play it? I heard your mom made geese. Get your mom to come play the game, you know? Things like, it's like when, you know, it's just like throwing a snowball down a mountain. It's just one big domino effect. That's the term I'm looking for.
Yes.
It is a domino effect. And if you don't have any sort of presence, that same person who might have ended up loving the game might just say, oh, dead game, no one's playing it, I'm out of here, peace.
Right. Okay.
And it makes, I hate to keep referencing it, but I just don't think Marvel 3 would have been as big as it was were it not for Max. I think he single-handedly caused an explosion for that game.
Right.
I think he caused a big explosion. And I think he brought in other people who in turn influenced other people to get into it's just one big, big domino effect, you know? It just starts growing exponentially upon itself.
Right. Well said. Well said. Oh snaps! We got EXWildWolf. Whoa! I wasn't expecting someone to pop in. What's up, WildWolf? You there? You might as well say something since you're in here. I wasn't.
I can't hear anybody.
No, he's muted right now.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh, no, Mike. Oh, okay, he just wants to listen. Oh, okay.
Okay,
right.
cool.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah, we're almost done here, but yeah, man, I agree 100%. Yeah, streaming is extremely important. I feel to expose the game to as many people as possible, especially since we're doing like different kinds of events and stuff like that to kind of show a little bit of
Another thing, I would just like to say, forgive me if this is Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, what's
Hey,
up,
what's
Wally?
up?
What's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
Pretty good, dude. Yourself?
We're good, man. We was just talking with QV, man. He was gonna
Yeah. QV is one of the more prominent streamers of the game.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for him regarding streaming?
I'll answer anything.
Yeah, not really. I don't think so. I'm just here to like basically raid the call, as you say.
Well, thanks, man. You're doing a good job so far.
Yeah. Like actually, because I never really like got in contact with Veritas before.
Yes.
But I just want to say you're like as long as it's KOF related, you're free to like join the RKOF Discord. Huh?
Is that a different one from the Dream Council Discord?
Yeah, this is a different one. This is
Okay,
different.
gotcha. All right, I've never heard of it before, but I'll check it out soon, man.
Yeah, man. Like as long as you continue to support the game, like because I left the because it was really strict. Like you couldn't really like stream for self promotion or anything. But it's like you're not really self promoting. You're like promoting the game, and people are gonna come to your like stream and everything. So it's like in that sense, I'll let that slide. And like you should just get in there if you have a chance.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like feel free. Like we're just literally trying to like spread all of KOF around still. It's like that's how much because that's what I want to do. Like, I know a lot of people from Dream Cancel, like from the KOF Discord, aren't in the Dream Cancel Discord.
Okay.
Which from what I've seen so far.
Got you.
Yeah,
At the moment,
like the majority of them are still in here, but like some of them are still in here. Like the majority of them, like only on that Discord. But
got you.
like to help like expand like the audience and everything. And actually, wanted to ask a question too.
Yes.
Yeah. Like what kind of not software, but like what would you recommend for like people who are trying to start streaming? Because I'm trying to like get a monthly tournament going on. And I'm trying to do some stuff with Metro. It's just been like all over the place with my work schedule and everything, but I really want to do it. So.
Do you mean like online tournaments?
Yeah, like online tournaments.
Got you. For online specifically, I would definitely say steer away from trying to stream from the PS4 itself. Get yourself a decent medium rig as far as your computer goes, GTX 1060 card with the i5 processor. Get yourself a capture card. I recommend AverMedia. Any kind should be fine. And then an Elgato, that'll work great too. And then get yourself a nice professional looking tournament format, and you stream it through OBS. I highly recommend OBS as far as your streaming software goes. It's just very, very flexible. You can make very, very presentable material with it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's everything you want to know about it. There's all sorts of little details I could go into, but that's pretty much the overview of it,
Okay. I can go into the details with you like later if you ever like.
Just hit me up, man. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah, I'll hit you up. But yeah, it's cool. It's nice talking to you for the first time. It's nice seeing Desmond again. So yeah.
It's my pleasure, man.
Yeah. I just want to say, how's it going? By the way, like with everything, the Desmond and everything, like Dream Cancel.
Everything is good. Stuff. Everything is good, man. Everything is doing well. Thank you very much for the concern, as always.
Yeah, you guys doing is this like the Combo Breaker preamble, or like just like with Veritas?
This is just with Veritas.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're gonna wrap up pretty soon, man. So thanks for coming in, EXWildWolf. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, no problem. I just got off work and I'm currently in my car and I'm just gonna take off.
Okay, cool.
As soon as possible.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm just just want to drop by as soon as I got off and drop in, just be part of the show.
Cool. All right, thanks a lot, man.
All right, man. Yeah, you take care, guys.
All right,
peace out, man.
All right, that was EXWildWolf.
Cool.
Decided to unexpectedly drop in.
Shout
outs to him.
What was I? Oh, let me get this off my head before I forget, because I feel this is very important.
Yes, please.
And this would just be something I want to say to every single fan of King of Fighters. Just as someone who's coming in from the outside, first getting into it. The thing I really, really, really want to see SNK fans do at this point, that I feel the next big thing needs to be. So I'm seeing that we have all these tournaments for KOF 14 all over the world. The tournament seems to be very active for KOF as far as everywhere that it's at.
Yeah.
That is an excellent first start. But the next thing I would like to see SNK do as a community is to reach out as hard as you can to whatever other community you can.
Yeah.
To get people to look at SNK. I think, from my observation, there's just not enough people even looking at the game. They don't know. They don't know how dope KOF is.
Yeah.
They haven't even thought to look at it. And I think part of that is because the community seems to be very, very small. Myself, as an example, when Tekken 7 drops, I'm releasing a bunch of content for it.
Yeah.
I can't contribute to KOF from, say, like Juicebox can with all of his knowledge and things like that.
Yes.
I can't, I'm still getting blown up by Kyo in the corner because I can't deal with the jump pressure or the hot pressure.
Yeah.
But if anything, though, because I want people to know about the game, since the current game's player base is small, I think that we need to reach out to other game communities in any way possible just to get people to look at it. So by growing, I'm trying to grow my own personal Tekken community. And the goal is, hey, all you Tekken player guys, why don't you take a look at this other game? Let me show you King of Fighters, It's like, hey, mom, meet my girlfriend. You two get to know each other sort of thing, I know you, so now you know them.
Right.
So please, 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 I want to see the SNK community reaching out to other communities in nice, friendly ways, easygoing ways, and just somehow showing them how dope King of Fighters is, even if it's indirectly, I'm trying to do it by showing Tekken players King of Fighters. If anyone might have a good footing in the Street Fighter community, show them King of Fighters. I know many people who play Street Fighter only play Street Fighter. Same goes for the NRS community. Same goes for the anime community. Show them King of Fighters. Show them why this game is so dope,
Yes. Cool. Well said. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And it's also important that we don't badmouth or bash any other games or scenes, because I mean sometimes I'm very selective of like my words and stuff like that, and I try my best to not censor people at the same time, but a lot of times I kind of like I kind of cringe a little bit sometimes when I see people kind of bash other games to kind of put KOF like on top, you know what I'm saying?
I've noticed in some of the tournament streams, unfortunately. Some people seem to... I see certain people, I don't know any names, but I just noticed them. Like, all they do is go into other stream chats, and the only thing they will do is tell them why King of Fighters is superior and why their game sucks, and I think that is the worst thing you can do by far. The absolute worst thing you could do.
Yeah, it's not very competitive, because those players could potentially be...
They could have liked it,
Yeah.
Like, you could have just as easily have said, hey man, what's up? I'm not really into this game. You want to take a look at this one, Or like, oh, hey, this is your game? Cool, you want to see my game?
Right.
Kind of like back in the day when you were young and you used to go to your friend's house with your SNES cartridges, and you guys would just show each other's library and introduce the other game to one another. Yeah. Like back in the day, How would you recommend KOF to fighting game newcomers? Ask Crashman. Crashman, with the difficulty of King of Fighters, I would say the same thing for King of Fighters that I would say for Tekken is, if you're going to play this game, especially if you're new, make sure that you are enjoying it, else you're going to become tired. I'm not sure if this is a thing in this community, but I know in Tekken, I've seen people who were potential Tekken players stop playing because they only wanted to become good at the game, and that was their only goal for playing. They didn't have any other attachments, say like attachment to characters or story or things like that. They just wanted to become great at it. If you want to get into fighting games, I would recommend find an aspect of it you like that you can't become tired of,
Yes.
Yes. I'll never stop playing. At this point, since I'm in here, I can't see myself ever quitting KOF 14 just because I get blown up all the time, for example, right? I'm getting mauled online. But it doesn't bug me because I'm playing because I like the characters and the story and things like that. And the gameplay is in of itself is dope, I think you need to have that mindset if you want to get into fighting games. Getting good will just come with time, the more you study.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That just comes, but I think it's something that should come with you enjoying the game, and not you only enjoying the game because you're getting good at it. That would just make you too tired and make you want to quit and not want to play.
Yes. I agree 100%. Yeah. Because competition, it can wear you down, man.
It can. If all you care about is winning, it can make you quit. I spoke to a guy once at final round who said, "Man, I'm done." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm just done with fighting games. I drove all the way out here to play Tag 2, and I just spent all day practicing, and all I wanted to do was win. I got blown up by the Koreans. You know, I don't like this. I'm done. I'm out. Peace." So just wrong, not the correct mindset approach, I think, causes that sort of thing to happen.
Yes. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Mm.
All right. Well, yo, thanks a lot, man, for coming on and then doing this interview, dude. This is
No problem. My pleasure. There's actually way more easygoing than I thought it was going to be. You know, I almost came in here with like, "Oh man, CNN's hitting me up. Let me be straight." You know.
Oh no.
Straight face this whole thing.
No. Yeah, I try to make it like, you know, as just laid back as possible, man. Because I mean, we're talking about games, and you know, games are fun. There's no need to go Barbara Walters on people or anything like that, you know. But yeah, again, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate, you know, the streams and stuff like that. I appreciate you just hosting the lobbies as much as you can, because that really helps people find games as quickly as possible. Because I mean, I kind of noticed with 14, and even probably a lot of other KOF or excuse me, fighting games online, if people see like the lobby list empty, no matter how good the no matter how good the netcode is,
really
people will just like not play online. You know,
I've seen it in other fighting games, especially like some of the smaller anime fighting games.
Right.
You kind of, you know, walk up in there, you can just see some tumbleweeds going by.
Right, and usually the net play is good. It has good net code. But the thing is, just people just
they don't see anything.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
They don't see anything, and they don't want to stick around.
Yeah, it could be a little discouraging for people. But since you have your lobby open, you know, whenever
they're at least see something, of course.
Yes, exactly, and they could just hop in or leave, come back later, and it's there, and that's very good. And it inspired me to kind of ask and request for other people to have open lobbies too. They don't necessarily have to stream, and they don't have to be.
Oh, right, yes,
right. You know,
that sense, definitely. In that sense, definitely. If you don't even intend to stream it, man, open up a lobby so someone will say, just see, hey, someone's here. You know, awesome. Let me play this game.
Right. That, or even just using the the PS4 streaming service as well. But yeah, I mean, even just like not streaming it and just having it online available for people while you are away from the PS4, helps.
Definitely, man.
So.
And anyone can do it. Anybody can do it. I don't have any skills in this game yet, but there's something you can do. You just have to be creative about it.
Right. Exactly.
You just got to get creative.
Right. Cool. All right. Well, do you have any shout outs you'd like to throw in the air to anyone that's listening now and maybe listening later?
Yes. Well, big shout out to Crashman in the chat room. Most of my knowledge of the game is coming from that guy at the point. He's always in my stream giving advice to like everybody. Like I'll see people who don't know anything coming in, and this guy's just like, oh, hey, man, you just got to do this, and this, and you'll win. I'm starting to think he's just an AI. I don't even think he's a person. Like, this is just the encyclopedia of knowledge in this dude's brain. Of course, a big shout-out to SNK creating with this game with all these dope characters, Let's see. Of course, you guys, Dream Cancel SNK, you were actually the first English King of Fighters community I could find when I started looking for them. And when I first saw the site and stuff, I'm like, oh, man, check out what these guys got, Especially coming from the Tekken community where everything's a freaking mess as far as that organization goes. Don't even get me started on that. I'm not going to talk about that on the SNK podcast. let's see. Other than that, man, I can't give any specific names, but just everyone out there who's making King of Fighters content. Juicebox, what are those guys on YouTube who make those really sick tutorials? I think their names are, oh God, what are their names? Cauliflowers and Diamond Dust?
Oh yeah, we actually interviewed Diamond Dust a while back.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I'm late to the party. But the moment I heard you say Podcast 91, Jesus Christ, I'm late to the party. I gotta catch up, man. This is like some season 6 tier stuff. But there's guys, you know, content creators like that. Big shout out to them. I'm hoping in the future I can give some shout outs to some would-be content creators, you know?
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks again, man. So
It's been my pleasure.
cool. Great.
Been my pleasure.
All right. Great tips shared throughout as well. I hope people take this to heart and use it.
One more thing I would like to say. I thought about it, and unfortunately, I'm not going to give too much more information about it right now. But my local group or whatever, we're planning on doing some dope stuff for King of Fighters in the future with the sole purpose of promoting the game, you know?
Yes.
I won't say everything now, but just to let people know that, you know, there are groups out there who are working to make sure that this game finally starts getting the recognition that it needs. And you'll see what things will start flourishing over time. You'll see what we got in store for everybody.
Right. Okay. Very cool. All right. Shout outs on my end. Here we go. Shout outs to the Dream Cancel t-shirts at dreamcancel.com/shop. Shout outs to the Dream Cancel Discord. Buy these KOF titles on Steam. Shout outs to Team Chaos. Shout outs to Kings of Colorado. Shout outs to the King of Data 14 app. Frame data and more for King of Fighters 14 for Android and iOS, Apple OS smartphone systems. We're going to do a party battle mode May 14th, Sunday at 5 p.m. We're going to have a very, very, very special exhibition. We're going to have 2 teams of 3 battle it out. Head to head to head to head to head to head.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Party battle mode, 1st to 5. That should be very, very fun. And
Speaking of which, just so you know, right after you said it at the beginning of the podcast, I downloaded that King of Data app. This thing is sick.
Yes.
Never heard of it before. This thing is pretty tight.
Yes. Shout outs to Gunsmith over ultranaji.com for sharing it and developing it with us, and it's very good. I really like it a lot. I use it a lot, and it's resources from many different people on there, so it really feels like a community effort. Shout outs to the King of Fighters Reddit and the King of Fighters Discord server. Let people know that have interest in King of Fighters 14 to check out the free demo, version 2 of 7 playable characters. There's Kyo, Yuri, Shanae, Terry, King of Dinosaurs, Leona, and Iori. So go ahead and check that out. Shouts to Game Goons. Shout outs to Kick Punch Block. And tournaments that are coming up again. Texas Showdown May 5th through 7th. Combo Breaker May 26th through 28th in St. Charles, Illinois. King of Fighters 14 will be there. Go to CEO 2017 June 16th through 18th. Again in Orlando, Florida. Evo is in the middle of July. Check out the SNK Pre-Evo Suite at Mandalay Bay. July 13th, presented by Game Goons and SDR Cast. And then King of Fighters will be played at Evo. If you have a local tournament or regional that's coming up, or any kind of like big event that's going to have gaming tournaments, have King of Fighters 14 there. You can have the esports support program. SNK will support your tournament, and you can sign up, give them all the information that you can, and they'll get back to you with some sort of result if you're selected to be supported by SNK. And thank you so much, SNK, for doing this. This is so dope. I'm glad.
That is really sick.
Yeah.
That is really sick. The first time I heard about it, I'm like, they actually care, I love it.
Yeah,
Such a dope thing.
Yeah. One local example is actually there was an anime convention here in Minnesota. I attended there, and they supported the tournament there, which was
really
very
wow.
cool. Yeah. And then on top of that, they SNK also they support our online tournaments too. So we have digital prizes for people.
Okay.
The online tournaments. So
okay, good stuff.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And I forgot to tell people this, but obviously, King of Fighters 14 is in version 2.01.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bug fix. There's a couple of bugs in the game that they wanted to fix that popped up in version just 2.0. So yeah, we're right now in 2.01, and there's a couple of bug fixes. Some things weren't immediately noticeable, but they felt that it had to be taken out. So big ups to SNK for just being very supportive of the game and making sure this game is just as good as possible, man. Like, I mean, I know people all the way from the freaking first trailer how they saw the game and they didn't like it, and now the game has just evolved so much. Like, we're at version 2.01 and SNK has just they're continually fixing the game, and they understand the game could be fixed even more and more and more. So big props to them, and plus with the DLC, we got Rock, Vanessa, and Yamazaki with Whip. Like, man, like, that's incredible. So big shout outs to SNK for this, as always. And yeah, it's really freaking. When I think back to the reaction of that first trailer, man, like, I can't believe how hard they worked to turn it around. Like, even that first trailer online, if you go to the video on YouTube, it's got a really, really big red dislike bar, right? Yeah.
But I feel like they worked so hard from promoting, showing how they had been improving the game, to showing off all the character trailers, to immediate, like, the moment they find a problem, they fix it. What was that thing with the Ramon Infinite? Like, someone found it, and then I heard someone from SNK tweeted out, like, don't even bother learning it. That crap's going to be gone soon,
Yeah. They're
I
very
think that's so sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah, they're very involved with the community now. They're replying to us and retweeting us, and just really just listening to our concerns. Even with the net play, they're doing their best to improve the net play as much as they can, and it's good. So it's just continual upward spiral from now.
It's looking good. It's really looking good.
Right.
And now you got a lot more people streaming the game than before, so things are really starting to look. Even in the open lobby, I see way more people now than I did when I first started doing it. I see way more people now than when I first started doing it.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's about it. This concludes another episode of the Dream Council podcast. My name is Desmond, the administrator of DreamCouncil.com. And until next time, keep playing, keep learning, and keep having fun. Peace.
Peace out, guys.